All right, hello and good afternoon again. Another warm welcome if you're just coming in to Library Faculty Connect Day 2020. Last year, we did have to cancel this event with all of the unrest, but now we have, a year's experience of doing things online. So we're very pleased to welcome you to the first exclusively online Library Faculty Connect Day. My name's Chris Chan, and I'm Head of Information Services at the library. I'm also in charge of our liaison program. And we do have a packed schedule for you this afternoon. One thing we've tried to do is make this presentation as interactive as possible. So if you haven't done so already, please go to www.menti.com and use the code that's on the screen there, 6815996, or you can use this QR code. And actually, if you do have a second device handy, like your phone or a tablet, I think it would be a better experience to do the interactive stuff on your second screen. But if you don't have one handy, you can easily open a new tab in your browser and go to the URL and code shown there. I think my colleague Helen will be popping that information in the chat as well to make it a bit easier to get to. So what do I mean by interactive? Well, once you get to your Menti screen, you'll have the ability to react to things. You can see here there's a little heart and a little thumbs up at the bottom of the screen there. I see someone's already discovered that. Great, 2 people. We only allow you to give positive feedback to the presentation. So you can just have your one-off reactions there too. You'll also see this reaction bar there too. There you can put in a few words and those will appear on screen just for a few seconds. So those will not be saved. But we will have also proper questions. So this button here, ask a question, that question will be saved. And you can pop that in at any time, but just a note, we will answer all of them at the end of the session. And you'll also be able to see questions that have been asked by others. So if you see a question that's been asked by someone else and you think it's a good one, you can vote it up. And we'll probably answer it first when it comes to the Q&A session. So please, again, do take a few moments to go to that website, menti.com, use the code 6815996. That code will pop up again when we get to the interactive bits, and also it should be in the chat by now too. So without further ado, I'd first like to invite the university librarian, Mr. Kendall Crilly, to give us a few opening remarks. Ken, please. The hot seat is yours.
Thank you, Chris. Good afternoon and welcome to our annual Library Faculty Connect Day. My name, as Chris said, is Ken Crilly, and it has been my great privilege to serve as university librarian here for just over 4 years now. After canceling our Faculty Connect Day last year due to social unrest, we find this year that our arrangements are quite different than before. Unfortunately, this year the pandemic and online attendance makes it impossible for me to greet each of you in person. However, my greeting is just as heartfelt and sincere as if we were all in the same room together. I am truly delighted that you are with us today. I know that my colleagues are ready to give presentations about the library's many services and collections and how we have been adapting these to make them fit for purpose to support your students, your teaching, and your research, whether that be on campus face-to-face, virtually online, or in mixed mode. It is sometimes said that the library is the heart of the university. In the physical world, this is certainly true of the HKBU libraries, where our main library lies at the center of our Kowloon Tong campus, and our Chinese Medicine Library and Shek Mun campus libraries also lie in the center of their respective buildings. The library as a physical space is of highest importance to our students. Many of them spend hours here each week for study, group work, and connectivity. They, along with you, their professors, even check out 60,000 books per year. But more than being at the physical heart of the university, we also aspire, especially in this time of pandemic, to be at the virtual heart of the university. Each and every day, we work towards this goal with new online orientations to the library, electronic provision of articles acquired by interlibrary loan, mini instructional videos on data, metrics, and a range of other topics, and a vibrant marketing program that keeps the university community up to date on the latest library news, hours, and events. It is our goal, whether you are physically present on campus or connecting to us online, that you continue to view the HKBU library, your HKBU library as the heart of our university. I will end here, and I hope that you enjoy hearing our updates and learning more about the many ways in which we strive to remain at the heart of our university. Thank you.
Great. Thanks so much, Ken. And by the way, thank you to everyone. I just noticed that so many of you have turned on your cameras, so it feels like there's really a lot of people here. Next, I'd like to turn it over to Katie, our head of acquisitions services, who's going to give us some updates on e-resources. Practicing good social distancing, Katie is not actually in this room, so I will be helping her with the slides. Are you there, Katie? Are you ready?
Yep.
All right.
Hi, everyone. I'm Katie. As Chris says, I look after acquisitions. So because of the social distancing and the pandemic, I'm sure you all rely heavily on e-resources, and we have been helping you. So I'm just going to let you know what we did in the past few months. So we've acquired quite a number of electronic resources. Some of them, for example, here, nursing databases. So as you all know, we've launched the nursing program this year. And so we've purchased a couple of them, the JBI database and the Rebekah procedures to support the curriculum. We've also purchased a few news databases, news publication. Now, for people who are from Hong Kong, you must have already known that South China Morning Post has put up a paywall. So the content is no longer freely available free of charge. So we've paid for the subscription, so you can access to everything on South China Morning Post, the website, as well as the e-paper version. So the e-paper version is like a newspaper replica where you will see the whole thing, but in electronic format. In addition, we've also have Nikkei Asia, that previously was called the Nikkei Asian Review. So that covers a lot of the Asian news and also Japan as well. In addition, we've also purchased quite a few collections of ebook from Springer Nature. I would like to highlight that for Springer, most of you might think they have a lot of science materials. And of course, we've purchased the ebook on subjects such as computer science and math. But you might not realize Springer actually covers the Palgrave imprints. So the Palgrave imprints are quite important for social sciences. So we've purchased subjects including social sciences and education so that they will have more materials to do their work rather than relying on the print collection in the library. Next, we have quite a number of Chinese resources. Guomentingde is one of the literary art magazines or publications. Now is in electronic format for you to have easy access. We also have the 清代歷朝起居住全民數據庫. That's also a historical database with some archival materials. Very useful for history. It's actually a request from history. In addition, we have other Chinese language materials. Now, CNKI, most of you are already very familiar. This year, because we have a new Chinese medicine librarian, so we purchased quite a number of collections to support them. We have the Zhongyi Chinese medicine and Zhongyue. Oh, I don't know what is that in English. So Zhongyi and Zhongyue publications, ebooks and also toolbooks reference work. So those are all in Chinese, supporting that discipline. And lastly, we have the Wong Farm Video. This is a new video streaming service that we have taken on. The content we've purchased so far are mostly documentary films and also films about gaming and to support visual arts programs. So try all these. They are very useful to you in some way. And if you have any recommendations that you would like us to try or to buy, let us know. We'll be happy to take a look, consider, and work out the budget. Next, apart from new resources, I would also like to let you know a few of the initiatives that we've done in the past since February when the outbreak began. The first one is we've started to purchase ebooks on top of the print copies that we've already have, because we know that when things get difficult in town, access to the library might not be easy. So we've purchased a lot of ebooks just to enhance your access to the collection. We've also purchased additional concurrent access. So for some of the textbooks or some of the course reading, we know that everyone fights for the print copies or even for the one concurrent user ebook. So seeing that there have been high turnaways, we have been proactively increasing the concurrent access to make sure that more people can get to the content needed. And lastly, we also did a print to e-conversion, and that's is a part of a response to the Faculty of Arts consultation meeting we had last June. There was a suggestion to have the whole print collection convert to e so that people can have access. So we did that in response to that, and we did a few conversions for particularly the OUP, Oxford University Press titles. So all these, we did it to help you, support you for e-learning and e-teaching. So I have a question. So how now that we have so much materials, so much spent on e-resources, what do you think it would be the percentage of collection budget that we spend on e in 2019 and 20? So cast your vote. So I have three options. So what do you think? You think we spend about 50% or 70% or 90% of our budget?
Great question, Katie. This is one I ask to the students all the time in our orientations, and they always get it wrong. So I'm curious to see what our faculty think. So we've got 13 votes so far. If you lost your Mentimeter window, the information is up there again, menti.com, and the code 6815996. I've purposefully hidden the answers that are coming in because I don't want other people's answers to influence you. We have 20 votes already, which is amazing. So I'm going to give you another 10 seconds until the voting closes. Is that too harsh, Katie? You want me to give them more time?
No, let's make it exciting. 3, 2, 1. All right.
Voting is closed, and here are the results.
Oh, okay. Most people thought it would be around 70%.
Shall I reveal the correct answer, Katie?
Yeah, go ahead.
Here it is.
Ta-da! Okay, it's 90%, almost 90%. So for a number of years, it was correct that we spent about 75%. But in recent years, especially in the last 2 years, we've bumped everything to E just because it comes out quicker, the content comes out quicker. More people can have access to the same materials at the same time. And also, particularly in the past few months, things get ugly. And so we realized that electronic is the only way that we can conduct our business. So yes, as we have now reached 90% of our budgets for e-resources. So this is a summary. You just have to look at the biggest color, e-journals, e-databases. It occupies most of the budget. And you can see print books and print journals. It's just a very tiny slice. Of course, we'll continue to support it because some books or journals simply are not available as print. So yes, so by this time, I'll pass it on to my colleague, Ms. Wang Wu. She's going to talk more about e-resources.
Great. Thanks so much, Katie. Wing's making her way to the hot seat. And here she is.
Hey, good afternoon. My name is Wong, and I'm the head of collection management and development here. As you can see from our section name, collection management. So usage is one of the duty that my section would take care of. So to continue what Katie say about our e-resources, and you also see how much we have spent on different kind of e-resources, we are going to have some more fun in doing some guessing about our e-resource usage. So first, let's take a look at the electronic journals. If you remember the pie Katie shared with you, 44% of our budget is actually committed on electronic journals. So here are the top 5. They are not in the order. And our next game will be you need to guess who are the top used electronic journal. Here we are talking about the number of article downloads. So we have 5 choices here: Scientific Reports, Nature Communications, The Economist, and the South China Morning Post archive. So I would be appreciate if you can cast your vote in your Mentimeter, and maybe we will have 30 seconds for you to vote, and then we will see what would be your vote and your what is the actual result. So,
got 4 results.
4 results? Oh, okay. Maybe you need a bit more time to think about it.
Shall I add 10 seconds to the clock?
Okay, maybe, yeah. Maybe we need more time to warm up, right? Because you may need to think about, what are these magazines or journals are. Yeah. Good. We see now we have like 16 people voting, right? Yes. 17?
18.
Oh, 18. Okay, good.
Here
so
are the results.
The result. Okay, good. Seems many of you know about the South China Morning Post, guessing they are the highest. And The Economist is the second. But actually, let's see what is the actual result. This is the top 5 in ranking. SCMP archives, this is actually the counting is before the SCMP paywall is posted on. So indeed, we find their archives from 1903 all the way to now is being used very often. And Nature, I think probably many faculty members download their articles for reading. So these are the top 5 in ranking. Economist is also high too. Yeah. Okay, so after the English journals, then let's start the Chinese e-journal. These are the 5 candidates, which is already in ranked as the top 5. But then I also need you to input to see which one which one is the highest. And here the 5 out of 3 is actually Chinese medicine journals. Yeah. So let's also give you 40 seconds to make the count. Yeah. I know my colleague, the new head of Chinese medicine, David, is here. He should not make the make the vote. Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah. It seems, the last exercise warm up, and now we get the voting faster. Yeah. Okay. Good.
All right, time is up, and I will reveal the results.
Oh, okay. So you think the Chinese medicine magazines are being used the most, but here is the result that quite surprised to you. Actually, it's the 名作欣賞. This is kind of a literature magazine that receive a lot of reading. And in fact, all these 5 journals are on the CNKI journal platform. So I trust the statistics we collect should be consistent. So these are the top 5 ranking, 名作欣賞. And the second one is the film literature, 電影文學, which is also being downloaded for over 1,000 times per year. So this is our top 5 e-journals. And then the next 2, I will just report to you rather than having the guess again. These are the top 5 English ebooks. And as you can see, 3 out of them actually are textbook, electronic textbook. So as what a few minutes ago, Katie mentioned that we have trying to acquire the electronic textbook. And definitely the figure, this show that the e-textbook is very welcomed by our students. And in fact, the first number 1, the Big Data in Practice, this book, there are over 8,000 downloads in a year. So that's a lot. And these are the top 5 Chinese ebooks. And we do have some is in simplified Chinese. And there's also 2 ebooks are from traditional Chinese. So this is the top 5 Chinese ebook in the past years. Okay. So we have been talking about electronic all these past 10 minutes. And how about our print collection? I mean, our tangible collection. And today I would like to highlight our rare collections in the library, which is actually mostly come from our HKBU Library Arts collection. And all this collection I'm going to mention is already digitized, that you can see the image from our library website. So we start building this library arts collection more than 10 years ago when we first start with the Academy of Visual Arts program. And then later on, when we acquire more this kind of arts collection, we do find that it may not be only used by the visual arts staff and students. It could also be useful for other disciplines. So this is why I would like to highlight to you today. First of all, this is a local artist, Gong Kaiming. The library has acquired close to 300 landscape sketches from Teacher Kong before. And last year, we also acquired a portrait sketch by Teacher Kong. And these are the sketches he did back in 50s and 60s. And many of them actually he did autograph and also put the dates on. And these portraits, most of them are from the grassroots and lower class people he saw around on the street or in other occasions. And I had a very brief interview with Teacher Kong on these sketches. I mean, this is his early works that he thinks that it would be a good way in reflecting those grassroots populations in Hong Kong. And you can see that his drawing is not only like Chinese, but this one is a sex gentleman. And this one is a mother breastfeeding the baby. So this is a very interesting collection and also kind of a complement of our landscape collection, which he draw, many of them are also from the 60s and 70s. So this is one of the interesting collection that could be, I mean, not only by visual arts in, I mean, learning sketch, but maybe for people like knowing about the Hong Kong history, so and so. Okay, poster collections. If some of you remember, back in 2018, the library has acquired a Hong Kong travel poster collection. And we have done a series of talk, exhibition, so and so. And we still keep acquiring travel posters, particularly the Hong Kong travel posters. But our first batch was over 100. And now, I mean, we have been trying to acquire more on an ad hoc basis. And many of them are actually in photographs or rather than drawing, because the drawing one, I mean, many of them appear in the first batch we acquire. And these posters can tell you about the Hong Kong, particularly the colonial history and the development of our tourism or aviation history. So like this one, I mean, actually it's the East African Airline poster to Hong Kong. So this is, I never know that this airline company fly to Hong Kong. And then in this one is actually, this is the Shamrock Hotel. And if you remember, this hotel closed a few months ago. And we also put a Facebook message to tell people that, oh, okay, we do have some poster on these like historical buildings or scene of Hong Kong. And when we keep collecting more Hong Kong travel poster, we also start thinking about wider our theme. Of course, I mean, with a lot of discussion with the visual arts faculty. And this is another series we bought for this French abstract painter, George Mathieu, that he drew a series of posters for the Air France of different cities. So initially, when we bought our first batch of Air France poster to Hong Kong, there are 2 or 3 are for Hong Kong. So we decided to expand to also other city poster by this same painter. So this is a series that you can also, I mean, view them in details in our digital collection. Next, this is an interesting addition. I think particularly maybe will be interested with the history department. It's about the Song Won Toy Monumentum that we acquired the stone rubbing. Not only the Chinese one, but at the back there's the English one. So this is the English rubbings. And this is already digitized that you can also view from our HKBU library collection page. And our Christian heritage, HKBU Christian heritage, we have been acquiring not only publication on the books or other printed materials, but we also start collecting missionary-related visual materials. So these 2 are the missionary maps we acquire. In fact, we have collected more than 10 maps back all the way to 1880, all the way to the 1930s. So for 50 years, this map with the missionary spot put on, we can see how the missionary is spreading into the China. And these are 2 posters we also acquired. And for the left one, the Mary and Baby Jesus, if you read our library newsletter, the latest one, issue 6, we do have an article talking about this poster, Mary and Baby Jesus. Documentary photos. We also acquire some documentary photos. These are from 3 very famous local photographers. We have about 40 of them. They are all in black and white. And I'm sure that, I mean, not only of the photography skill, it can also tell a lot about our local culture or population or things like that. And these are some woodblock printing and painting collection. So not only their, I mean, art skill, but it's also could, I mean, tell you about the folklore or the culture of China. So the last thing I would like to say is if we resume to the face-to-face teaching, these items, I mean, when you view in online, but you can also borrow them for your class use. So these are some pictures of the class that we actually put the physical items and students can actually view them on site. So if you are interested in any of those collections, please contact your liaison librarian or contact our section and we can make this arrangement. So I think I overrun, so I need to turn it back to Chris immediately. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I mean, there are so many highlights in the library collection. I know it's difficult to pick your favorites. Before we move to the next section, just a reminder, we've already gotten, you can see there in the corner, 5 questions already. And even if you don't have a question yourself, if you tap ask a question, you can see the questions that have been asked. And again, if there's one you particularly like, you can rate it up. And then probably when we get to Q&A, we will deal with those questions first. So please do have a look at the questions that are being asked. Our next section is research support with my colleague, Rebekah Wong, head of digital multimedia services. This is the part I've been a little bit nervous about because I'm going to turn over remote control to her and hopefully this will not crash everything. So Rebekah, are you ready?
Yes, please.
Here you go.
Let me try. Okay, that's
works.
great.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Hi, good afternoon. My name is Rebekah. I hope you can hear me clearly. Okay, that's great. I'm going to talk about the research support services that the library is providing. I will go over the services one by one in order of the steps that we usually take in the research process. So our university emphasizes the use of data analytic in research. I think it also extends to non-science disciplines. But we understand that for non-science faculty members and students, you may not have the data software that you need. So the library has installed a number of data software in the Multimedia Learning Center and the data analysis room on level 4 of the library. So that hopefully, if you need them, you can just come to the library to make use of them. So this software, including quantitative analysis tools such as Origin Pro, SPSS, and Stata. We also have qualitative analysis tools, including MaxQDA and NVivo. There are also some other tools for graphic presentation or data visualization like Photoshop, ArcGIS, and Tableau. We want to deepen our services, so we organize open workshops regularly. We usually organize 3 workshops per semester to teach students and faculty how to make use of the tools that we have. We can also offer course embedded workshops so that we can connect with your students directly and teach them how to use them. Because of the pandemic, recently we have moved most of our workshops to online via Zoom. To bring further convenience to our students, we have recently developed over 20 videos on Python and SPSS. Python is a commonly used coding system for you to harvest social media data. SPSS, as you almost know, is a very commonly used statistical software. So through these videos, we not only show the technical steps of these tools, but also teach the basics of programming and statistics. So hopefully our students will find this video useful. We have also developed several online guides on topics like research data lifecycle, sources for data mining, sources for text mining, and research data management. On top of all this, we can also offer one-on-one consultation services. So if you have this kind of need, just email us. Okay, now you have finished your research using data analytic, and you are now considering which journal you are going to publish with. So the scholarly communications team of our library can provide information of metrics. We can provide information as broad as the concept of metrics, like the definitions of impact factors or the use of field-weighted citation impact, etc. Or we can also answer journal-specific questions. So you can choose either watch the 6 short videos that we have recently prepared to help people to gain a better understanding of the metrics, or you can send us email directly. I think some of you may also know that the UGC, RGC recently has developed an open access plan that they are now consulting each institution on whether, how we want to proceed with the plan. So the library is also working with all of you, the academic departments and also research office and also graduate school to provide open access support as much as possible. So when you publish, you may encounter some copyright issues, like what rights do I hold as an author, or what rights does the publisher hold? So our scholarly communications librarian, Pauline Lam, has developed a pretty neat online guides on copyright, not only related to publishing, but also related to teaching and learning. So you can always refer to the online guide or send her emails if you have any copyright questions. If the academic department or the research center that you are working at publish journals as the role of a publisher or editors, the library has also subscribed to an off-the-shelf e-journal publishing platform for you to move your print journals to e-journals for open access. We have also been collecting theses and dissertations from our PG graduates for open access. The library recently has came up with a read and publish deal with the Cambridge University Press. Under this agreement, over 400 CUP journals are now made available to the HKBU community. More importantly, if you choose to publish in one of these journals, you can publish your article open access without any article processing charges. That means actually the library has paid the charges for you in the overall one-due payment that we have paid. So CUP journals would be a very good option for you when you consider journal publishing, article publishing. And this agreement will be started from the start of next year. Okay, so after your article has been published, you may now think, how should I record my research output properly? And how can I promote it? So let me give you a good news. The university is now developing an integrated research information systems, which they call it IRIMS, for the whole university community. And this system is still under development and it is expected to be launched in June next year. So within the okay. So within the university, there is a task force set up. Chris, could you please help me to move backward? Hi, can you hear me now?
It's going a bit haywire. Have you lost control? Here.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, okay. Yes, I lost control of the slides.
Okay, I'll take over. No worries.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so within the university, there is a IRIMS task force set up with Professor Johnny Poon as the chair of the task force. And you can see that 7 department heads are the members of this group. And this task force is supervising the whole IRIMS project. But under the task force, there's a working group actually working on the implementation. So can you see my mouse?
Yes, I can still see that, yeah.
Okay, that's great. Okay, the research office is responsible for the grant management model, and myself, representing the library, is responsible for the publication model and the research portal. ITO is responsible for system integration and security issues, and we are using an off-the-shelf platform named Pure from Elsevier. So because faculty members, you will be the major users of this system, after June next year. So from time to time, we will start to seek advice and input from you directly or through the Associate Deans Directors of Research Forum. So if you have hear anything from us, and if you have any input for us, please feel free to voice out. Sorry, Chris, I will let you do the navigation. Okay.
Sure.
So I just want to give you more ideas on the system. As I mentioned, the system contains 3 modules, and the grant management model and the publication model are internal systems to be accessed by SSOID. And the research portal is more like a public interface for outsiders to view the university's profile. So first of all, this system will be linked to the personnel system and finance system so that your people data and project financial data can be harvested to the system accurately. And then in the future, whenever you have to apply for a grant, no matter it's a project grant or research grant, you have to do it through Pure, the system. And all the workflow will also take place here. So after you have received the grant, the corresponding information will be pushed to the publication model as a record, and you can select it to be viewable by the public or not. Okay, and for the publication model, on top of the grant information, the library will do a one-time mass data cleaning and transfer to make sure all the publication data that currently kept in the library's institutional repository will be made available in Pure. And in the future, you are highly encouraged to input your research output, your teaching activities, or even your community services into the system for three main purposes. First of all, your supervisor will start to make use of this system to download the activities that you have done every year to do your annual evaluation. Secondly, this system will serve as the single source of truth for all the research reporting. Thirdly, you can select specific information from the publication model to be shared to the research portal for outsiders to view. I hope this explanation is clear up to this point. If you have more questions, please feel free to ask. And I just want to give you a reminder that the system will be launched June next year, not now. Okay, after all this have been done, some scholars may want to further share their original data or their original research materials with the public. Then you can work with the library to develop digital scholarship projects. We can do data visualizations. For example, this project, the faculty originally only have an Excel file. So we help them to clean the data and convert it into an interactive data visualization platform. We can also help you to digitize your primary materials and using OCR to convert the images into searchable text. And we can develop GIS applications or e-research tools. This one is a corpus that we developed with the Language Center for Linguistic Analysis. So there is a grant for you to apply. If your rank is research assistant professor or above, you are eligible to apply for a digital scholarship grant. The money came from the research committee. And each project can be awarded with a cap of 100,000 Hong Kong dollars. And we call once each year. Unfortunately, the deadline of the nearest rank has just passed. And after each project is finished, we will launch a series of promotion activities, hopefully to raise the public awareness of your project and your original research. So one of the ways that we did is to create a little video of you introducing the project and your research, and then put it on the library website and anywhere else that you want, just as your social media platforms. So that is for me for now. Thank you, Chris.
Great. Well, thank you, Rebekah. I'm going to now attempt to take back control of my screen. Hooray, I have it. By the way, my colleague Helen put some links into the chat while Rebekah was talking if you want to learn more about some of the services that she was talking about. Well, yes,
I forgot the last slide. Yeah, this is our email addresses. If you want to contact us, please feel free to contact us. Yeah,
absolutely.
Thank you.
By the way, Rebekah, I noticed a bunch of questions came in while you were talking about IRIMS. So get ready for some IRIMS questions, perhaps.
Okay.
Well, we've piled a lot of knowledge onto you. So let's shake out a little bit and do a little bit of a trivia quiz. So we have 3 quick questions to test your knowledge of HKBU Library and just make sure you're still with us. So this will have a slight competitive element. Just to be very clear, there is no prize. So we have, wow, already 26, 25 people piling in there. You can name yourself. You don't have to give your real name, but that might make it a little bit more fun if we can identify the top library knowledge whiz out there. I'll give you a couple more seconds, but 29 is a pretty good turnout. If you've done a quiz like this before, the questions are actually not that difficult, but the competitive element comes in with the timing. So it's a bit like Kahoot, if you've ever done Kahoot before. The faster you answer, the more points you will get. So here is the first question, fingers on proverbial buzzers. Which of the following is not part of the HKBU library system? Oh, bit of time pressure too. You only have 5 seconds. Guess if you don't know. Time is up. What did you say? Oh, most of you got that right. The Fengshuchun Library. Yeah, the Fengshuchun Library building on the old campus. No actual library in there. It's a cause of many a call to the library. I'm at the library, but I can't find the entrance. It's usually because they're at the Fengshuchun Library. 12 of you got that one right. Who was fastest though? Tiger Baby. I don't believe that's your real name. But Tiger Baby was the fastest. So congratulations to you. Next question, moving swiftly on. Question 2 of 3, here we go. If no one else requests it, how long can you keep an HKBU library book? This is one I also ask the students, and they usually get it wrong too. The answer is, of course, until you leave HKBU. We have probably, I think, the most generous loan policy in the whole of Hong Kong. The actual loan period for items in the general collection is 20 weeks, but you can renew that loan as many times as you like, as long as no one else requests the book. So the correct answer is until you leave. Let's take another quick peek at our leaderboard. Ooh, Tiger Baby did not get that one right. So he or she has been replaced at the top by JJ. Good job, JJ. Last question. Now, this one's not multiple choice. This one, you do have to type it in. So watch your spelling. I have put some alternative answers in, but be careful with what you type if you want to get credit. The last question of our trivia quiz is a simple one. What is the name of the library's main search engine? Now, you could, of course, just go to the library homepage and the answer is right there, but you'll lose all those tasty, tasty points. I probably should have said at the beginning, library staff are disqualified from this competition, but I guess it's okay, since there is no prize. 10 seconds remaining. Your time is up. The answer is, lots of you got that, Ao Siu Hung Library. No, that's not our main search engine. The correct answer is OneSearch. And I see a lot of, I didn't guess that people would do that. I'm sorry if you said OneSearch. I didn't guess with a hyphen either. I kind of guessed all caps and stuff. Anyway, so 4 of you typed it in exactly as it is. Really, you should have gotten credit if you put OneSearch. I apologize. But the quiz is just for fun. Who typed the answer exactly as I expected? Tony. Well done, Tony. As well as Bill, Kat, and Funny. But combine all that together, Tony actually is our winner. Congratulations. There's your confetti. Round of applause. Again, no prize, but you get that warm glow of self-satisfaction that you won. All right, my turn. I'll be brief with my teaching and learning support updates. First, I just wanted to update you on how we handled online and mixed mode workshops. So of course, along with all other instruction at HKBU, We moved either completely online during the month of September or in mixed mode this semester. But I was really, really pleased that our feedback survey showed that students pretty much thought the experience was of a similar quality level. So we have a standard feedback survey that we do at the end of all of our sessions. So we ask some questions like, was it relevant? The librarian explained it clearly. The instruction material was of high quality, and the in-class activities were effective. So this is from semester 1 of 1920. And you can see there we rated in the high 80s, and we rated pretty much the same this semester too. So I was really pleased that, moving online and all of that didn't affect how the students received our instruction. And I do attribute much of that success to what you've seen here, our skillful use of tools like Mentimeter. So I'd like to take this opportunity just to thank all of the librarians who contribute to our instruction program. Thank you very much. And also encourage those faculty among you who do not yet request instruction from us. So there's a lot of different information literacy instruction that we can do for you. It's not just orientations. Earlier, I saw my friend and colleague, Professor Liu Minhua, and also Dr. Jatinder Man in the audience, and they can certainly attest to the fact that we do much more than orientations. Next, a little bit different. So the library is constantly working on ways to improve access to information. So recently we enabled something called LibKey Link. And the idea here is accelerated access to PDFs. So there's no sound to this video. It's just a screen capture that I did. So this is an example from, first of all, the Scopus database. So as you know, we have this, what we call a link resolver. So when you click on the link resolver in a database like Scopus, it will try and find the full text. And if it finds it, it usually takes you to the publisher page, which is good, but it takes a few seconds of cognitive effort to find where the PDF is. And it's hard because every publisher has a different layout. Now, I'm exaggerating a bit in this example. I mean, I'm looking around. It's actually right there in front of me there. But it does usually take most people a few seconds to find that PDF link. Now with LibKey, so this is what it does now. When you click on the link, it just asks LibKey, does the library have the PDF? And if we do, it just takes you to the PDF without having to go through any other clicks. Now, it's a small thing. It's a small little improvement, but those small sort of time savings, they do add up. So there was this fascinating presentation recently by librarians at the University of Manchester who've also implemented the same thing. And by their estimate, they sort of estimated that it saves 10 seconds per click. And they think they're going to be saving 100 days of their researchers' time each year. So we're hoping to do something similar for HKBU with this enhancement. My last little update is about the Long Story Short Awards. So of course, I really love our short story dispenser. It's one of our main attractions on level 3 of the main library. And because we have this machine, our students were eligible to participate in their first ever inter-university competition. And I was pleased that 16 entries were received from HKBU students. It wasn't enough to get us the prize of a new machine, but that's by the wayside. What's more important is that one of our students is a finalist. So Ms. Feng Hei Ting, Heidi, she's an undergraduate student from the Creative and Professional Writing program. She's actually a finalist in 2 categories. So she was nominated for both her creative nonfiction and her poem as well. And this is actually open for public voting. So what my colleague Helen is doing now is she's getting some links to those stories and putting them in the chat. And if you'd like to support Heidi in her quest to be a winner of this competition, the public voting closes on December 17th. Great. That is it from me. So I'd like to hand it over now to Maggie, who's going to talk about the results of the Library Service Survey 2019.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, our library conducted the library service surveys last year, and I would like to share the result with you. The survey period is from early November to early December last year, and the purpose is to collect data for assessment and improvement of library services. And this is our second time to join the survey, and we use the international survey tool called the LibCord. Apart from our library, there are 4 participating Juliet Library, include EDU, Hong Kong UST, Ningnam, and PolyU. Yeah, the major part of the survey is the 22 core questions centering around 3 major dimensions of library services. That is affairs of service, information control, and library as place. And in the questionnaire, users were invited to give ratings on the services and to rate the 3 service level, minimum, desired, and perceived levels on a 9-point scale from 1 to 9. So at the end of the questionnaire, users can fill their comments on library services. So our surveys includes quantitative and qualitative assessment. Okay, 3 dimension about library service quality. This chart shows more details about the core questions. Questions of affairs of service are about empathy and ability of library staff and their interaction with users. And question of information control are concerning accessibility, ease of navigation, and library resources. And question of library as place are related to facility, equipment, library environment, and space. So the performance of these 3 main areas form the overall service quality. We got 1,403 respondents in this survey. Compared with the last survey, the participants are lesser. There's a reason for the decrease. And you can see that for the survey run for 5 weeks. The first week, over 1,300 users took the survey. However, due to the social unrest in last November, all classes on campus were canceled, so it affected our response rate. And the response was not so satisfactory for the remaining 4 weeks, just 93 participants. But nevertheless, the overall response is quite good, over 1,400 respondents. Responded by user group, undergraduates are in the majority, over 800 participants, account 60% of the total participants, and 85% came from the main library. Responded by Juliet institution, a total about 8,600 respondents took part in the survey. And Hong Kong UST received the highest number among the 5 libraries, and followed by PolyU and our library. I would like to highlight our survey result. The overall performance of 3 dimensions, the scores of the 3 main areas for library service were very close. You can see that ranging from 7.1 to 7.14. And user ranked library as place the highest, 7.14. And the score for the other 2 main areas are the same. Comparing the rating of last survey in 2015, our library improves in all 3 main areas, although a score are slightly lower than the Juliet. Okay, we have identified the top 5 most best area. They are related to user service, AS3, AS4, and AS8. And the other 2 items is library environment. Our friendly attitude to our user got the highest mark among the 22 core questions. We also identify areas for improvement. 2 items came from user service, AS2, attention to our user, and AS7, understanding the needs of our users. 1 item is related to technology our library used, and 3 items came from information resources. Users' expectation, it was found that priority for user are the study environment. They need quiet space, place for study, or have an inviting location, and then followed by the library website and the attitude of our staff. General satisfaction. It's also glad to know that users are very satisfied with our library service as a whole. And you can see that comparing with last survey, all areas are improved. And also the score are higher than the Juliet. User comments. We got more than 500 comments representing 30% response rate, 67% in Chinese, 33% in English. And here are some examples. We received positive feedbacks and also comments for service enhancement. Based on the survey result, our library will continue moving forward in improving and providing quality service to the users. Okay, to encourage more people to take part in the survey, we have done a lot of promotional work. And also we have offer attractive lucky draw prize. And here are the brief award ceremony. And also I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for your participation in this survey. That's my report. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Maggie. Yes, my thanks too to everyone who participated in that survey. Seems like a long time ago, but it was only last year. I always forget that. All right, we come to the Q&A. Now, I know we've run a bit over time. My apologies for that. If you do need to rush off, we are recording the session, and I'll make sure a link to the recording gets to you all. So if you do need to run away now, please feel free to do so. You won't miss anything, except the feedback survey, but we'll send that in the follow-up email as well. So here is... Oh, before we get into the questions that were received just today, I almost forgot. There was a question received via the registration form. So thank you to this person for their question. Will the purchase price ceiling of ebooks be adjusted every year? Most students do not buy textbooks or lack money to buy them. And will the library consider allowing departments to top up the difference if they are willing? So I checked with Katie beforehand, and she said she would be happy to address this question. Katie.
Yes, thank you very much for this question. It's indeed a very timely one because everyone is looking for textbook or ebooks. So we have the short answer to the long question, or is we automatically buy all the textbooks required for your course. We receive the list from the campus bookstore. So based on that list, we purchase those titles on the list, which has been designated as required reading. Now, so automatically we purchase them. We purchase the e-version whenever available. If not, then we will purchase the print copy using the library's own budget. Now, if you have course reading materials that are not on the campus bookstore list, but you still want to make them available, please feel free to send it to us. Regarding the price, it is correct that there is a price ceiling. Currently is 4,000 Hong Kong dollars or 520 US dollars. But this is only an indicator amount. If the book that you request is more than that price, feel free to send it to us. We just need to have your head of department endorse it. And with the approval, then we will put through the order. The reason for that is for some departments, they have very small budgets. So a few textbooks, expensive textbooks, will easily use up the whole library budget. So that's why we wanted to have this endorsement process in place so that everyone is aware of the budget situation. But yes, we are happy to purchase them, even if they're expensive, as long as it's approved and as long as money is available, we'll be happy to have that. Yeah. Did I answer that question?
I think you did, Katie, but well, I'm afraid we probably won't be able to follow up at this session. If that didn't answer your question, do please feel free to contact Katie directly if you need further clarification. Thanks a lot, Katie. All right, so wow, we have 10 questions, which is fantastic. The one that received the most votes was this one. How much has the library been affected by cutbacks to its budget by the university? And Ken is going to deal with this one.
Okay, thanks, Chris. And thanks to everybody who either entered or voted for this particular question, because it's something that we think about a lot, not just in the library, but across the university these days. I'll give you a very brief and very oversimplified answer, but I'm happy to take more specific questions. Just send them to me directly or to Chris, and we'll come up with more specific answers if you have particular concerns. But in a general sense, I can say that from the time I arrived in 2016, the library is one of the more fortunate units on campus in the sense that because, especially when the self-funded programs were highly subscribed, we actually get a fee for library use from those programs. And so in addition to our recurrent funding from the UGC, we've been very fortunate to have a very substantial or comfortable cushion with the discretionary income that comes in from the library fees for the self-funded programs. The big question going into this year, of course, is how subscribed those self-funded programs would be and how that would affect our income. So not to give you too long an answer on this, let me just say that you can sort of conceptualize the library budget as three big pools of money. One of them is for staffing, of course, and even before the announcement of the staffing freeze, the hiring freeze last summer, the library had already entered into negotiations with the university administration, and we've committed to a 10% reduction in the number of staff over the next 3 years. So even though there's a hiring freeze on, we're still hoping to be able to replace some positions that are becoming vacant. The 3 years gives us the opportunity to do some reorganization and also to take advantage of attrition, people who are leaving or retiring, and figuring out how to repurpose those positions. So we feel fairly comfortable there. A big question on everyone's mind is the second big pool, which is, of course, the collections budget. Because we work on a triennium system, the first year of the current triennium, which was last year, 1920, we did take a fairly large reduction in our recurrent funding from the finance office in the university. And that resulted in the recalibration of some of the department's funding, left very precious little for physical book purchases in some departments, and resulted in some e-journal cancellations in various departments. So that was a little unfortunate, but again, because it's on the triennium system, that was a sort of one-time hit. And for the current year and the next year, we have very, very small reductions in collections as a result. We've had some luck over the past year because of the pandemic being worldwide. A lot of our major publishers of content have really tried to hold the line on price increases. They could be very high some years, but this year we've seen opening up of additional content sort of for free that we didn't subscribe to normally, or really holding the line at zero or limited increases. There are a couple bad actors out there who are still looking to get as much money as they can from everyone, but generally we've had some luck there. At least for temporarily in the collections budget. And then the last big pool, of course, are just the general expenses, the equipment, the software licenses, all of the production software like data programs and things that Rebekah mentioned earlier. And for that, we actually did in the budget coming into this year, we did reviews. So instead of putting the same software on, say, 60 machines in the library, maybe it's available on 10 instead. And what I can say about all of these decisions, just in closing, is that we're really trying to be a data-driven organization. We're really looking at usage. So when we cancel e-journals, the first thing we do is to look and see, okay, well, how many times have been used and what is the cost per use? And the ones that are not getting used are, of course, the best candidates for cutting. We actually run programs on all of the workstations that the students use to see which ones the software is being used on. So we feel comfortable taking the software and not renewing it for other machines. So that's just a really quick general overview because I know we have a lot of other questions coming up. But if you have follow-up, please feel free to contact me or your library liaison and we'll get you more detailed answers. Thanks.
Great. Thanks, Ken. I'm going to mark that one as answered. I'm going to leave this as, let's call it the rotating chair, because we'll probably need some more help. Oh, this next one, any chance to subscribe to Canopy, through which we can show film clips online in class via the library website? Yes, this is a product we've heard of. I just discussed it with Wing off camera, so to speak. And we will certainly look into what the options are for subscribing to that. If you want to be kept, the person who asked this question or voted for it, if you want to be kept up to date, maybe contact me directly, and we can certainly keep you up to date with our progress on that. Next, I think this is one for Rebekah. What does the process of publishing open access with CUP look like? Should we contact the library once the paper is accepted? To Rebekah?
Yeah, I think for faculty, the process is quite transparent. You know, when you submit your article through the publisher's platform, it will automatically alert us, and then we will track the records. So it's quite transparent for faculty members.
Yep, I agree, Rebekah. My understanding is too that even if you somehow miss it, there is some retrospective open access that they can do if you somehow slip through the cracks. But we will be doing a lot of publicity and marketing of this deal when it comes into effect next January. But of course, if you would like more details, don't hesitate to contact us. Yes. All right, we're flying through. Does the Springer ebook collections include history? Katie, do you think you could respond to this one?
I cannot answer right at the top of my head, but I can look at the catalog. We do buy several subjects based on needs, and if you have a recommendation, we will surely be happy to consider it. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Katie. Next, I can't read this one out. What is, I recognize Ching. Okay, I'm not going to embarrass myself. Would anyone like to take this one? Wing? I think Wing is volunteering.
This is actually the historical archives. They record the emperor or empress, their daily lives. So it's a lot of historical evidence. How maybe what they eat, or even including some who they met, so and so. So it's kind of like a diary recording of how the governor, the emperor and empress. Yeah. Okay.
Well, thanks, Wing. I learned something there too. Sounds like a fascinating primary source. How to suggest the library to buy new books? Great question. The easiest way for faculty, I think, is to get in touch with your liaison librarian. Dare I do a live demonstration? Okay, I'm going to try it. So if you go to the library website, and this resolution is not fun, but go to contact information under About Us, and liaison librarians and library coordinators. Find your liaison librarian, and they will be very happy to take your recommendation. To be honest, this is probably a better way to go than our recommendation form. We do have a recommendation form here. Under library forms, we have a lot of forms. Where is it? Do collection feedback, recommend materials. So that's another avenue to recommend things. But honestly speaking, I'd much rather you get in touch with your liaison, get to know them through making your recommendations to them.
Sorry, can I just add? I actually welcome you guys to use the online recommendation forum, because we check it every week and we review it right away and let you know if we will have problem with that. So there's an alternative way. All right. Yes. There are many ways. You can write to the library, you can write to Chris, you can write to your liaison, do the online forum, many different ways.
We'll agree to disagree on that one. I want faculty to, you know, get to know us. But anyway,
Of course.
the form is good too. The form is totally fine as well. We'll talk later. No, I'm kidding. Can we access the list of journals that are included in the open access agreement with CUP? I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, EAT members or Rebekah, it's
definitely.
every CUP journal. It's all of them, right?
Yeah. Actually, we will promote it in January next year. So you will receive more information, including the journal list.
There are about 400 journals in total, and CUP has sent us a list already. So as what Rebekah said, it will be posted on the website to share. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah. So the list is coming soon. Thank you. I think this is due with IRIMS. Rebekah, would you like to address this one?
Yeah. Unfortunately, the Pure cannot draw information from ORCID, but I think you can also understand that because ORCID's data is not that clean unless the scholars themselves clean the data. But the good thing is that Pure can draw data from Scopus and also Web of Science, so no worries about that. We will try to automate, you know, as much as possible, you know, to minimize the manual work.
Yeah. Am I correct, Rebekah, too, that Pure can push?
Yeah, exactly. Sorry. Yeah. Thank you for a reminder. Yeah, Pure can push data to your ORCID. Yeah.
So
that is the way that they do.
Yeah, that lovely clean data that we're getting ready for you, that is going to go into your ORCID. So I think that will be a benefit too. Great. Thanks, Rebekah. We're getting there. Another one for you. Is using IRIMS required once it's launched?
I would assume the answer is yes, because it's the university-wide project. And, you know, after June, Pure is the only place that you can apply for your grant. And also your supervisor will make use of the data there for your evaluation. So I don't think there is another way to do it. Yeah.
So the university is putting some pretty powerful incentives there for you to use IRIMS. Great.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, one for you, Maggie. For the library survey, late breaking question. Any difference in responses between local and non-local students? Did we do an analysis at that level? Or is that something we'll need more time to think about?
Our data is can only, the response in student is by their discipline and by only by discipline or undergraduate or postgraduate. Yeah.
Okay. So unfortunately, we didn't. Well, it's just to give a bit more detail. It's a standardized survey that was designed in America. So I think there's no sort of local, non-local student comparison there. Oh well. Thanks, Maggie. All right, we have plowed through all the questions. Good job, team. The last thing to say here is we do need your feedback. So my colleague Helen will be posting a link to our very brief feedback form in the chat. You don't need to do it right now. If you don't have time, I'll send the link to it in the follow-up email along with a link to the recording. But when you do have 5 minutes, we would really, really appreciate your feedback on today's event. And with that, Mentimeter has told me I have reached the end of the presentation. So thank you so much again for attending this afternoon. It was wonderful to see so many. I'm looking over at my other computer over there to see so many of you turn out. I think this is more people than we usually get at the in-person events. So there are some benefits to doing things online. Again, just to repeat myself, we will get a recording of this ready to be shared out so you can relive the fun whenever you want. Okay, I'm starting to ramble, so I will stop there. Oh, I do need to just say thank you to Helen, who did a lot of wonderful work in the chat, and also to Gordon, who's been monitoring there very carefully to make sure that nothing went wrong, and also to everyone who presented today. All right, that is it. Shall we do our Korean pop star wave?
Bye.
All right. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.